Thanks for listening to the Good Enough Wellness Podcast. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Emily.
And we're passionate about holistic wellness that real people with real lives can achieve.
We see you out there striving for perfection, but we want you to know that good enough can be good enough.
Before we get started, everything we talk about in this show is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Always talk to your healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet, lifestyle, medication, or supplements. You're listening to episode 28, Cleaning Product Swaps. In this episode, we are going to share some of our favorite ways to start swapping your cleaning products for less toxic versions.
So, Kayla, what are you nerding out about?
This week, I read a book called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport, and it was excellent. So I have been nerding out about digital minimalism, but not in the sense that most people preach digital minimalism. So most of the times when you hear digital minimalism, you're going to hear people say things like, you need to cut out social media entirely, get rid of your smartphone and get a dumb phone, completely cut and dry, this is right, this is wrong, this is how you have a minimalist digital life. And I just want to read a little clip from this, or an excerpt from this book that really helps explain what he's talking about in this book.
Yeah, go for it.
Our current relationship with the technologies of our hyper-connected world is unsustainable and is leading us closer to the quiet desperation that Thoreau observed so many years ago. But as Thoreau reminds us, the sun rose clear, and we still have the ability to change the state of affairs. To do so, however, we cannot passively allow the wild tangle of tools, entertainments, and distractions provided by the internet age to dictate how we spend our time or how we feel. We must instead take steps to extract the good from these technologies while sidestepping what's bad. We require a philosophy that puts our aspirations and values once again in charge of our daily experience, all the while dethroning primal whims in the business models of Silicon Valley from their current dominance of this role. A philosophy that accepts new technologies, but not if the price is the dehumanization Andrew Sullivan warned us about. A philosophy that prioritizes long-term meaning over short-term satisfaction. A philosophy, in other words, like digital minimalism. So he emphasizes a lot in this book identifying your own values and philosophies, and then using those to determine your digital minimalist life makes it so much easier than just cut and dry, this is right, this is wrong, because some people need digital tools, and we should use digital tools to our advantage. I mean, we're sitting here using computers and interfaces, and we reach out to you over the internet. We use platforms like Patreon and Spotify and YouTube and other podcast players, and we're creating our content on Google Docs and things like that. Canva, we're not meant to get rid of all of these technologies. We're meant to use them in a way that aligns with our own values.
That's so cool, because I think we both read Stolen Focus.
Yeah.
And it was so good. I do recommend that book, but it was very extreme. It was very you have no control over this. This is how they programmed it to be. You don't have any say in it now because they've made it too addicting, and the only way out is to opt out completely. So I like that this sounds a lot more like, hey, let's use these things and leave them in their place.
Right, exactly. So Emily, what about you?
So I've been listening to Atomic Habits, and I think I'm going to take it nice and slow, and I'll probably even let it return back to the library and get it out again so I can just take it piece by piece and not try to just work my way through super fast. So I've been taking notes as I go, and something that I found really interesting from listening to it this week is so it's all about habits, right? And why we have certain habits and how to create better habits or better habits for you. And I like that his approach was very neutral. And he says, you should, before you even try to change anything, you should observe your habits from a really neutral standpoint, not a oh, good or bad or whatever. And I liked that a lot. It felt like a much healthier way to observe what I'm doing with my life, and not a oh, I can't believe I suck so much kind of way. And then when you go to kind of examine these habits, his question is, does this habit cast a vote for or against my desired identity? And I like that a lot. And it's just got me thinking about a lot of things. I don't really have a conclusion for you yet. I'm just kind of like, these are interesting things to stew on.
Yeah, that was one of my biggest takeaways from that book as well. I've read it twice. I have the best story about this book. I stopped in at a thrift store on a whim one time and looked through their books, and I found this book. It's like very popular, and it was 60 cents.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I got this book for 60 cents, and I've read it twice. I've gone through it. Like at my job, we do like the leadership does a lot of like developmental stuff. So one of the directors there sat down with me and we worked through that book and worked on habits and things like that. So yeah,
That's
I
really
love
cool.
Atomic Habits.
It's really good. It's just a very good, like, it feels like very building blocks to like how to build a better you.
Yeah. I liked his approach a lot.
Hey there, Goopers. Yeah, Goopers. You know, you guys who listen to the Good Enough Wellness podcast, that's your name now. Get used to it. Are you craving a healthier, more balanced life, but you're not sure where to start? Or maybe you've tried all the tips and tricks that seem impossible to keep up with because, well, you've got a real life. Sound familiar? Here's some good news. We've got something just for you. Our free Patreon community is all about holistic wellness that works for real people just like you. Whether you're juggling a busy schedule, navigating health challenges, or just curious about improving your digestion, sleep, or energy levels, we're here to help you thrive without the overwhelm. Inside, you'll find show notes, downloads, worksheets, and exclusive recordings to help you get started. Plus, it's not just about advice, it's about connection. You'll join a supportive group of people on the same journey, cheering each other on and sharing ideas that actually work. The best part? It's totally free to join. So why not take the first step today? Head over to patreon.com/goodenoughwellnesspodcast and join the community where wellness meets real life. Let's grow together. You've got this. Today we're going to talk about cleaning products. I have them, you have them, everybody's got a whole closet full, I'm sure. Cleaning products are a great place to start if you want to kind of overhaul your wellness, especially if you're maybe a little gun shy on doing anything with food. There are a lot of things to explore with a cleaning closet.
Yeah, it's a really easy place to start because we all have them. Once they run out, you just get a different one. Like, you don't have to throw them out and start over. It's not like sometimes with food where it's like, this food is causing me a problem, so now I have a whole stash of it that I can't eat, and it's just sitting there staring at me. And there's a lot of emotion tied up with food. Cleaning products can be a pretty neutral place to start, and they can make a really big difference.
Yeah, I like that. Well, while you could, go through and like, I'm going to throw all these away, just use it up and move on. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to waste in order to move on to something a little better for you, better for your house, better for the planet.
Yeah. Waste is not a really holistic choice. Honestly.
It really isn't. Yeah, it's not a good use of your resources or God's resources.
Right.
So when you're going to go replace these products after you've used it up, I don't know if you can hear this, but we're recording at our sister and brother-in-law's studio, and their cats are going insane.
It sounds like a herd of elephants up there.
It really does. It's hilarious. I don't know if you can hear that. So you're at the grocery store. You've got all-purpose cleaner on your shopping list because you just used up your... I don't even buy it.
Regular all-purpose
cleaner. I don't know. And something that you need to know about cleaning products, about a lot of things, but cleaning products in particular, is that there's a thing called greenwashing. And greenwashing is infuriating because they take something that is toxic and is not good ingredients and say, look how natural it is. Look how green it is. And it's really false advertising.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see a lot of brands slap a label on there that says something like natural or free of this or plant-based or any number of like free of all these different things, but they're not telling you what's actually in it.
Yeah.
Or they'll what am I thinking of? They'll just put a suggestive name on there, like, a brand name could be something like one for the planet is one I've seen before.
Yeah.
And it's like, it it makes you think in your head, oh, this must be good for the planet, without actually doing any digging and finding out if it actually is good for the planet. Like their titles can be suggestive as well, or even just like names of the fragrance, like hand soaps that say things like meadow or rainfall or fresh this, or
Yeah.
like it makes you think, oh, this is good. Like
How
it's
like
good
organic.
marketing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
natural isn't something that is regulated by anybody. So
No.
you can put natural on anything.
Any food.
Or product.
Yep.
And it, just say natural this. And no one is going to say that's not true because no one regulates it.
Yeah. If it's not regulated, then it can't be proven wrong in a court of law. So there's no telling what's actually in there, or also who those companies are owned by too. Like,
oh yeah,
these bigger brands will like kind of remake their products to look much cleaner than they actually are. Just some examples, not to call out, but we're going to call out. Like usually if somebody's like, oh, it's fine because I got this brand, it's probably going to be like Mrs. Meyer's. There's no Mrs. Meyer's. It's owned by, I forget who it is, but it's like whoever owns Tide or whatever. Like it's the same companies. Method is a really popular one. I'm not saying they don't work. I'm not saying they don't smell good. I'm saying
I've used Method before. But
yeah, I mean, no hate. It's just if you're looking to clean up your closet a little bit, that's not the one you want. Yeah, I think you covered it actually.
Yeah, like conventional brands that put things like free of things. Like the one I always think of is Tide Free and Clear.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's free of what? And clear of what? And really all that means is they have removed, a lot of times the thing that they've removed is the fragrance. And in place of that, because all these chemicals don't smell very good, they'll add in a deodorizer, which is just as bad as the fragrance. Or they will, like sometimes things will say scent free, and that means that they've still added fragrance, and the fragrance is nothing because they don't want you to smell the chemicals. So they still have to add a fragrance, but it doesn't have a scent.
Ugh. This episode's going to make me cranky.
It's annoying.
It is annoying.
Sad but true.
We did compile a list of, these are kind of just off the top of our heads, things we've used, things we would be like, yeah, I'd probably pick that up. Some better brands to look for. We're not saying these are like the end all be all of cleanliness.
Don't come for us.
Wellness.
If
these
you
are
find
just
something
like,
out about that.
Yes. Yep.
Nothing is perfect.
I'm not even speaking for their ethics or even who they're owned by, because these brands, they're known for selling out all the time, which, like, to be perfectly fair, if somebody came up to you and was just like, hey, that thing you've been making, can I pay you $3 million and then I get to make it? And you're like, well, yeah, of course. Like, you'd be dumb not to. So I get it, but also it is frustrating. So just going down this list, Branch Basics, I think we've both used this.
Yep.
It's good. It's expensive, but
Yeah.
it's good.
It does go a long way.
It does. And I like that it's kind of like this reusable system too, so you don't have to keep buying new plastic bottles. We keep seeing Force of Nature everywhere, and this fascinates me, but I'm cheap, so I probably won't ever buy it. But it's actually like an electrical current that you take salt and water and vinegar, and it turns it into hypochlorous acid and sodium hydroxide to clean. So now you're looking at like this chemical reaction, and it's super cool. I like the idea. I've just never used it. Seventh Generation is another big wellness or cleaner brand. It's like the OG. Like if your grandma or mom was using clean products back in like the 70s, they were probably using Seventh Generation. It's been around a long time.
I don't love everything Seventh Generation.
I don't find it to work terribly well, to be perfectly honest
but
with you.
I use it because it's the option that I can get in the grocery store that's not Dawn and doesn't destroy my hands.
Correct.
You know?
Yes. Dr. Bronner's, they do the Castile soap, which is usually like an ingredient for if you're going to make something. I don't know many people who just use it straight up. I'm sure you can. I just don't know how to use it straight up. Truly Free. I don't know anything about this brand. Do you have anything to say about this one?
Yeah, I see it a lot. Like some of the more some influencers use it and they really love it. I got a bag of the dishwasher detergent, and I mean, it was all right. I wouldn't say that it was better than my 7th generation for the price. And I have beef with the bag because it's so tiny. Like, I have small hands. I am a small person. I have small hands, and I can't fit my hand in this bag to get the scoop out, to get the powder out. And so I have beef with the bag, Truly Free.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this. But I mean, I think it's a great option if you're looking for something clean.
I'm just going to side note real quick. If you see an influencer using a product and they're like, I love this product, it's the only product I use, you should use it too, you need to look for that like hashtag sponsored, hashtag ad. I'm not saying straight up that they're lying, but I'm saying they have different motives than you do.
Right.
So
they're more likely to say that something is great.
Or convince themselves that it's great even.
Because they're getting paid to say it.
Yes. BioClean is another more of the OG clean brands. I've used it. I like it well enough. I don't use it currently. I don't know why. I just don't. I usually make most of my stuff now probably. But I've used their all-purpose both for like cleaning purposes, and I've used their all-purpose as like dish soap too. It works. Yeah. Molly Suds, it makes a fantastic laundry detergent. If I didn't make it, I would probably buy this one. I like this one a lot.
Yeah,
I think they have other stuff too. Have you tried? I think they have like dishwasher detergent, don't they? Have you tried it?
I tried their dishwasher detergent.
Not for hard water.
Maybe I just tried their dish soap. I don't remember if I tried their detergent or not. Like dishwasher detergent. I don't remember.
Not a fan
now.
or too expensive? Or
I didn't like their dish soap.
Yeah.
So I just was like, well, I'll just stick to their laundry soap, and I use their washing machine cleaner tablets too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Kayla and I are pretty picky about our cleaning products because we're both on quite hard water, and that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
If you've ever been on a well, especially a very hard water well, you are fighting an uphill battle. If you know, you know.
If you too have iron stains in your toilet, you know.
Yes. If your shower is orange, yes, welcome to the club. Now, you don't have to buy anything, which is my bread and butter. My jam is I'm a big DIY girly. And before you even start thinking about like what you want to make, because you can get on TikTok, on Pinterest, and find all kinds of recipes, I would say this is how I lean anyways, but I think it's wise to kind of take a minimalist approach to it so that you don't have a bunch of bottles and jars and sprays and all these things that you're not actually using. So a minimalist approach, and you always want to ask, like, does this actually need a cleaning product? Do I need a specialized product for this? Either does an all-purpose work just as well in this place, or B, does this just need hot water?
Right.
Because that is the case sometimes. And right here, I think I also want to touch real fast, and I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty. Disinfectants are not cleaners.
Right.
You cannot disinfect dirt.
Yes.
So most of the time, and if you read what, microbiologists are saying, they don't even like disinfectants. They like soap and water. So that's a good place to start. So just some stuff that like I make at my house, and maybe you have some more to add, is I started making a citrus vinegar. So it's wintertime and we're eating lots of citrus. So just as we peel citrus, we throw it in a jar, top it with vinegar, let it sit for like 6 weeks. And then you have this like great smelling vinegar that also has enzymes in it to help break down, dirt and grime and stuff. I dilute it like 50-50-ish with water in a spray bottle. That is my all-purpose cleaner. It works great. Spray it on your counter, let it sit for a minute. It needs time to work, and everything wipes right off. Huge fan of that one. Laundry detergent. I'm definitely going to drop my laundry detergent recipe. It's so easy, and I promise it works. It's so good. And I just tried out like a quote Febreze type like fabric refresher, because we have a dog and we have couches. Need I say more?
Yeah.
And I don't remember what recipe I used. I'll have to go see if I can find it, but it worked great. It really does help lift the odors off of things that you can't wash thoroughly. And then I've also tried a dusting spray. Again, I don't remember what recipe I used. I have to go look. But it's got I think I used a citrus vinegar and probably a few drops of like dish detergent dish soap, and then some kind of like a small amount of oil, and that will help keep your surfaces, free of dust for a longer period of time. We live in a very dusty house. And as long as I'm talking about that, just a reminder that like right up there with the disinfectant versus soap, like removing things is always going to be better than trying to like keep up with spraying them, if that makes sense. So like vacuuming regularly, keeping an air filter going, that sort of thing. That's going to be 10 times better than trying to keep up with like dusting your surfaces.
This is a side note, like completely, it's not about cleaning products, but if you're cleaning a lot, you may notice that you're cleaning a lot of things that you don't really need.
Yeah.
So this is like, I'm not saying like you need to be a complete minimalist, but is there something you can declutter so that you're not cleaning as much?
Yeah. Yes, I think that's a perfectly valid thing.
I was just like, this is not really about cleaning necessarily, but I get something to consider.
You and I are not minimalists.
No.
But we have like the kind of the spirit of it. We're big like have what you use what you have type of people. So you won't find us getting rid of our cheese grater to just use a knife, but you will see us having like using the things that we actually have in our kitchen.
Yeah. Yep. I get rid of things that sit for an extended period of time and I don't see myself using, or I avoid using and like, I don't want to use that. I'm going to use this instead.
Yeah.
I get rid of it.
Yeah, I love it.
Couple other things you can use in the DIY space. You can use a microfiber cloth. A lot of these just require a little bit of water.
Yes.
So that can be something that you can like just get one time and
they last
use
forever,
over and over and over and over again. And you're just using water. You don't need a special cleaner with a lot of them. And another great one is the sun. The sun disinfects and bleaches, deodorizes. If you're having issues with something smelling, hang it out on the line for a while and see if that helps. The sun does a great job of cleaning.
It really does. That brings us to the end of our cleaning product swap episode. I hope you learned a few things. We want to learn a few things too. I have a very specific question because as much as I love DIY things, as much as I love clean things and wellness, there is one dirty little secret that I cannot break up with. I've tried and I always come back, is Dawn dish soap. Nothing cleans like it. I've tried lots of other things, and please understand that I have 7 people in my house. I cook 3 meals a day from scratch plus, and I hand wash everything.
She has no dishwasher.
I have no dishwasher. And so tell me what dish soap, hand washing dish soap you love, like absolutely adore, because if I don't adore it, I will probably keep going back to Dawn. Help
Did you
a girl
try
out.
the 7th generation?
I don't know if I have. Do you like it?
I love it.
Okay, I'm going to go find some 7th generation and I will report back.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, see you next time.
Oh, the place that we can talk about all these swaps and your favorite choices, and if you want opinions on what you're currently using, or if you have like a really great recipe for something, please come and share it with us on Patreon.
Yes.
We would love that.
Yes, please. I need your recommendations.
Feeling burnt out? You're not alone. If you're waking up tired, struggling with brain fog, and wondering if you'll ever feel like yourself again, it's time for a change. Hey, it's Kayla King. I'm your nutritional therapy practitioner, and I'm hosting a free training called Rest and Reclaim: How Nutritional Therapy Helps You Overcome Burnout. In just 30 minutes, we'll uncover the root causes of burnout, explore how nutrition can support your recovery, and give you simple, actionable steps to start feeling better right away. Don't wait, your energy and balance are worth it. Head to my Instagram at Kayla King Wellness and look for the link in the bio to sign up today. If you're ready to stop feeling stuck and start thriving again, join me for Rest and Reclaim. Visit Instagram.com/Kayla King Wellness now. Can't wait to see you there.
So Kayla, what's good this week?
This week, along the same vein of digital minimalism, I heard about this book from a YouTube channel that Emily has shared a couple times now on the podcast, and that's Madison Gray's YouTube channel. She is a minimalist who also is into slow living. She's mostly my vibe. I wouldn't say she's like my thing entirely, but I've been enjoying going through her videos, and she recommended digital minimalism, and so I read it, and really loved it. And so yeah, if you're looking for something that feels like a soothing cup of tea on a rainy afternoon, throw on a video. Usually what I do is while I'm like cooking or doing the dishes or something, I'll just throw it up on my counter, and I'm not even really watching it. I'm just listening to it because
it's so soothing.
Yes, I
it
enjoy
feels like a
listening to
friend.
it.
It's just like
chatting with you.
yeah.
And I really love a lot of her philosophies, so I'm taking what I can use and leaving the rest. And yeah, I've been super enjoying Madison Gray, and I hope you will too.
She's such a vibe.
Yeah. So Emily, what about you?
Okay, what's good this week is super fun. So it was my dad's birthday, and we decided, this was kind of a group like brainstorm, that we decided to start this was our first annual Papa's Picks Chocolate Milk Showdown. I don't think it's always going to be chocolate milk, but this time it's chocolate milk. It was a blind taste test. We did it in bracket style.
Nice.
I think we had 9 different chocolate milks for him to try. None homemade. It was like all store-bought, so it was like consistent. And he tried all of these. And my dad, this poor man, he's such a gentle soul that he was just like, am I going to offend anybody? I'm like, none of these are homemade. It's okay. Like right. you can say what you like and don't like. Some surprises along the way. This poor man. We made him try an almond milk, chocolate milk, and I thought for sure he was gonna like
almond beverage.
Yes, an almond beverage. I thought he was gonna be mad. He was like, surprisingly, it wasn't bad. Chocolate covers a multitude of sins. And then we also made him try Yoo-hoo, which he insisted on calling Yahoo, unironically. And yeah, it was very surprising. But so we have this local dairy to us. Oh, hopefully I don't step on any toes. We have this local dairy to us called Pot of Gold, and they have fantastic milk, and they have fantastic flavored milk. It's like thick and creamy. It's so good. But by a surprise to everyone involved, there was an upset where Promised Land Dairy beat out Pot of Gold for the top slot.
Nice.
It was shocking. Everybody was
now I'm going to have to try
in an uproar. I know. I should release the whole list and like see how the bracket went, but it was super fun. I had a lot of fun because I was like hosting it, narrating it, and I was helping with like the brackets, and my sister helped buy all the milk. So it was super fun. I highly recommend.
That's a really fun like activity.
Yeah, my dad's hard to buy for, not because he's picky, but because he's so not picky. Like he's a dairy farmer. He really doesn't have hobbies beyond tractors and cows. So it was fun to do like an activity for him, and that's really his love language is time spent. So it like had us all together laughing and having a good time, and I highly recommend, especially for a man in your life that you have trouble like buying for, like do something like that. So fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Good Enough Wellness Podcast.
To learn more about my one-on-one packages, join my mailing list and follow me on Instagram at Kayla King Wellness.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Good Enough Wellness podcast feed wherever you listen to podcasts. You don't want to miss an episode.
Follow us on Instagram at Good Enough Wellness Podcast to learn about upcoming episodes and join our free Patreon to interact with the Good Enough community.
The Good Enough Wellness Podcast, because good enough can be good enough.
Well, that's good enough for me.
Me too.